5. Ooh, ow, we're going live at 5-ish. 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock. 6, 5. Ooh, that's it.
All right. But is the man or the man is wearing an outfit? What's this one? Or the man is wearing an outfit. It must be doing another gimmick. What is the gimmick today, sir? I'm gonna make sure I'm in frame. Hold up. Good vibes. Hold up. Making sure, no, because y'all niggas make fun of everything. I make sure I'm all oiled up. It's like, look at that nigga had ashy eyelids. Did you see that nigga? Welcome to Live at 5, the only show that starts at 6 o'clock. Nigga, we did it. We're
going live at 5. Ooh, ow, we're going live at 5-ish. 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock. 6, 5. Ooh, that's it.
Trying to be right in the middle of the gang. Try not to block too much of the Jesus. All right. Looking like a shiny boy. Shiny boy squad. All right. Welcome to the show, guys. Live at 5. Today's episode is The Litter of Jerusalem. Take it from the top. The litter of Jerusalem, the litter of Bethlehem, the garbage of Nazareth. Who cleans up after the Last Supper? Right there, bam, check it out. Hold on. Read it and we. Hold on, man. Hold on. Oh, why walk away? Nope, that doesn't work either. All right, hold on. Forget it. I gotta get that sorted, huh? So breaking up. It's breaking up. And move a little bit. You know what I mean? All right. Welcome to Live at 5, the only show where we adjust on cam. But yes, today's topic is about recycling and garbage. What and how did they clean up? Not only, I want to say, themselves. I mean, that's probably self-explanatory. Not really. But how about this? How about how did they clean up the streets? So today, we're going to get into a little of that. Get into a little bit of the cleanliness of the ancient cities. Were they filthy? Did they have a system far more superior than ours? Can we learn from their previous contraptions? I think so. Was it just like Flintstones? Was it just, a bird tied to a stick with feathers, and then you had to use them to sweep? Who knows? All right, we're doing Flintstone jokes. Okay. It's getting spam from Kick, but that's all good. Shout outs to Kick. It's probably always comes up. It's just a promotion thing that always comes up. No biggie. I hope everyone's enjoying their Thursday. I'm enjoying my Thursday so far. It's going good. Can't complain. I'm ready to get into this topic. But first, we got to do our affirmations, guys. Art with friends. I'm going to hit up Marcella's page because I saw some stuff that I was very much interested in that I want to share with you. And then I got to get into Mark. I got the suspenders on because I was trying to figure out what check the background out. There it goes. Hold on. Can I get it? Can I get it in frame? Oh, nope. There it goes. Look at that. Bam. Black Jesus. Who cleans up after the Last Supper? I'm just stretching too, so that's good. The litter of Jerusalem, the litter of Bethlehem, the garbage of Nazareth. Bam. This came up the other night, me and my wife. Another great question she asked. Are we still doing the twos, like if they die, like TLC? Are we still going to the TLC concert if one of them are dead? SWV. If V's gone, are we going to do that? Salt and pepper. If pepper's gone, are we still going to do salt? You know what I mean? Me, personally, no. If they're gone, the group's done. That's how it goes. What are we doing? Why would we do that? I wouldn't do that. If Michael Jackson didn't break up the Jacksons with his success, and then it was just I had to choose whether Michael by himself or the group that once was. It depends on how good Michael was. Or I'll be like, no, I prefer the Jacksons. But clearly it worked out best for Michael, clearly. But it doesn't always work out like that. So I say, I'm not doing TL without the C. That's simple. Okay, that's my rant. That was my art with friends. All right. So yes, welcome to Live at 5. Don't show stuff at 6 o'clock. So we're going to talk about the cycling, cleanliness, the what have yous of yesteryears. It's not going to be a long show. I'm going to start with the oldest, and I hate to admit it, not really. I'm not an anti-Semite.
Once again, I'm not an activist. I'm just caught up in the shit. When you start the shit, you can't stop the shit till you finish the shit. I'm in the shit.
But the Jews, they say the Jews had the first, the Torah was before the Quran. The Islam, in the Quran, they acknowledge the presence of the Torah being first, but they still say that the Quran is the final word of God's word. So it may not be the first, but they say it's the last. So take with that what you will. I'm not a religious man on all that. I do believe in the Almighty Allah, of course. I've said that many times. But, I don't force it on people. I'm not a big fan of... I don't do control. That's scary. So, we're getting to Art with Friends. And we're going to get into the show. Hey, look who it is. Let me tell you something.
The African-American woman is the backbone of the black family. Really, of the whole American family. I mean, who wasn't raised by a black woman? I know I was.
Good to see you. Always good to see 3 smiley faces in the chat. Welcome to Live at 5. We're starting early. No, actually, we're starting on time today. How do we do it? By the grace of the Almighty Yeshua. Doing this research, I tell you what. Before I get into checking in with trying to get the guns out. Before I get into checking in with Art, I wanted to say, when I was asking Alexa, Gemini, my personal Gemini, hey girl, what's going on with these gods? I mean, like the ancient times and what's going on with the poop and all this. So one of the things that she got clearly offended with is when I said, white Jesus is Jesus, right? And Yeshua is black Jesus, right? And then she was like, you can't say that. That's not a thing. And I was like, no, that is a thing. I've heard it. And then she was like, no, that's not a thing. She was like, the people of Israel are of African, she said African and Islamic descent. That's what she said. So she was like all the way up there. So she was like Africa and somewhere else. So, but she was like not like the European depiction that the people display. She made that clear. So the funny thing, she's allowed to say that he's not European, but she can't say he's black. But she can't say he's African mixed with some sort of Islamic, Middle Eastern features or whatever. She talks about his hair. His features are Middle Eastern and African. So, but she makes it clear that he's not European. So then when I asked her, so doesn't that just mean he's black? And then she was like, can't say that. But I got at least this is as dark as I could get them. Look, you can see them. This is as dark as I could get. Because it's a fight. It's a fight. But yes, the Torah came before the Quran. So we're going to start with the Jews, and then we're going to go from the Jews to the Romans, and then to the last but not least, the Egyptians. And we see how they washed and cleaned themselves, and how they clean their cities, and how they maintain such beautiful art that we can still find to this day. So first, we're going to start with Art with Friends. Thank you for joining me live at 5. If it looks like a mental breakdown, by all means, why is the man wearing suspenders?
I wish a nigga would like, subscribe, and share.
Also, guys, I was looking at this thing about gold. You guys got to stop buying jewelry because you're cheating on your significant others. Put it like this. You don't need jewelry to prove your love to a person, because you don't need jewelry to prove that you're dead. So if you don't need jewelry to prove that you're dead, you don't need like proof of jewelry to prove that, you're alive, or that you're alive to that person. You know what I mean? So just like go think outside the box. Think about the person. Do something nice. I don't know. Take it or leave it. Guys, free advice.
You know where that came? That came from me. That came from me. It was my doing.
Like, that sound like some broke nigga shit. No, I'm saying people are buying way too much jewelry. I don't know why jewelry's up. It shouldn't be up. It shouldn't be. But all right. Get into Art with Friends. I saw some stuff I want to share. We're doing great timing. I'm wearing suspenders because I was trying to think about maybe what this is what garbage men wear.
You better wake up. The world you live in is just a sugar-coated topping. There is another world beneath it. The real world.
I think I should come back with tips. I got like tips and stuff. So I'll come back. Okay. So yeah. So just fun fact before we get into the Art with Friends. This all started. I just wanted to know if they have brooms and dustpans. And out the gate, I figured this is what a garbage man would wear. Hey, thanks. Hey, thanks. Okay, overalls. Well, at least someone notices. Okay.
He told me to take my high yellow ass inside the house.
I figure I put the guns out. Because we're talking about cleaning. We're getting our hands dirty. Get our hands dirty. All right. Let's get into the friends. No more stalling. Little do you know, it's all set up. It's all set up. It's going to be fun. You can look at some gross stuff. Some of it is gross. Some of it is just, it is what it is. All right. I'm going to hit up Art with Marcella. I haven't been to Mark for the last week or this week. Just counting yesterday, excuse me. So I'll hit up Mark. And then we're going to jump into the shit. All right. Here comes the jingle. You know how it goes. Shout outs to Onija. Shout outs to the chat. Let me check Instagram, see how we looking. Nobody in there yet, but they'll come. They'll come. If you build it. If you build it.
Does that make you feel a certain way?
All right. Here come the jingle. See you in a bit. Okay, overalls.
My dear.
Dear American sister. I better stop using all these accents before I get flagged as a tether.
I strongly believe that TikTok is a ticking bomb.
This is not me. I'm fighting for my life. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life.
All right. Shout out to Marcella. I wanted to go to her page because I saw some interesting things I wanted to share. I already mentioned this. Oh, well, hold on. Don't you dare. When you set it up and they bring you back. Well, hold on. Don't do that. All right, we're back. There she is. Cutie. All right, let's see what we got. Boom. Okay, we talked about this. All right, guys, you got to watch this show. Okay, you have to watch. We like to call it DT.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about Dope Thief. You have to watch this show. It's brilliant. Like she says, best show I've seen this year so far. Amazing cast, writing, acting, directing. Superb finale. Brian Tyree Henry, from Atlanta, gives a tour de force performance. He has grown so much. He is an actor. As an actor, he truly carries the show, but the supporting cast is just as worthy. Check it out. Yes, on Amazon or Apple TV. Fucking amazing work. It's a mini series. It gets right into it. You don't got to waste no time. I got the gifts back. So, who told you? Got the gifts back. All right. Let's do Hot Fire. Hopefully I get Dylon. Let's get Dylon. Let's type Dylon. What do you got for me? What do you got? Nope. 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 Okay. That's not gonna work. Let's just do Hot Fire. Maybe we get Cheetos or something. There it goes. Perfect. Hot Fire. Great review. I agree. What else we got? Yes. Uh-oh. Hold on. It's the anniversary. 2 years ago. Oh, today's the anniversary. Okay, well, rest in peace. Rest in peace. Breonna Taylor. Floyd, may they rest in peace. For sure. Done dirty. You know what that gets.
You're a fucking pig.
Sad. But Black Power. Oh, good. Every dog gets its day. Can't say too much because bad enough. Already demonetized, probably by the no, not black. Could you imagine that? Oh, I like that. That's pretty good. That's pretty cool. There you go. What else we got? Set. And the rest. Don't trust anyone. Life is full of fake people. We're lying. Fake is the new trend. Stay real, for sure. Shouts to Peter. Shouts to Peter and Marcella. Sure. Care. Hold on. Welcome to Live at 5, the only show we scroll the internet. It's called the Palate Cleanser, guys. Welcome to the show. We do this every 3 days or whatever. Why doesn't, who watches this?
We're going live at 5. Ooh, ow, we're going live at 5-ish. 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock. 5. Ooh, that's it.
Truth is, if someone is okay with losing you, they never really cared about you. Fuck. Pretty deep. Pretty deep. Seriously. You know, like the people, when those children end up missing, and those people pretend like they gave a shit. So you could definitely tell when they did the crime. So you never wanted them there. Scary. Scary. That's not it. No, well, come on. All right. Calm down. You know, I'm going to say it's way too many babies on this thing. Way too many babies. All right, we're going to get out of gift territory. We're going back. All right, we're going back. But this gets it's like bizarrely true. Yeah, like one of these. Dang. Like that. Good stuff. People are dying of depression but can't tell anyone because y'all gossip about them instead of helping. I mean, come on now. We already know that. Look what happened to Britney. I mean, let's be real. That's our shit. We make fun of you till you break. Let's see you break. So it's actually sad. But it's true. When will we learn? Who knows? One of them days sequel with Keke Palmer and SZA in the works. What? Dude. Come on.
They kill so much because they have superpowers. ¿Qué no entiendes, chingao?
That's fantastic.
Did you feel that?
Yes.
Woo! I mean, what better than this to suggest?
Fantastic. Hallelujah. This was one of the funniest movies I've seen in a very long time. There's scenes in this movie that run through my head constantly. It just constant, it stays in my head. I think about it often. It's a very, very funny movie. If you haven't seen it yet, go check out One of Them Days. Fantastic film. Flawless. No bad parts. No down. 5 stars. Hallelujah. No, I'm not saying praise God. I mean, jeez. There it goes. Blessing on bless, bless, blessing and be blessing, blessing, bless, bless, blessing, bless, bless. Yes, all of that. Gnarly. Good stuff. Okay. Great job. Great job. Thank you for sharing that, Marcella. Fantastic. Keeping us in the know. If you ever want to be in the know, go to Marcella, April Pondicello, and every now and again you might check out some shit and might get some nice stuff. Look at this. I learned a lot from this today. So there you have it. Go check it out. Maybe not every day. Some days. So are we at our brightest? Oh, we're not even at our brightest, brother. There we go. We weren't even at our brightest. I was wondering what was off. Something was off. All right, here we are. All right, we're good. All right, let's get this posture going. Okay, let's get this pasta going, right, guys? Okay. We'll do 1 video from Mark, 2 videos from Mark, and then we gotta go. We gotta go. All right. Not gonna be a long one. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to Live at 5, the only show that starts at 6 o'clock today.
We're going live at 5. We're going live at 5.
I'm talking to you now on screen. I'm getting the damn things together. I'm getting my duck. Oh no. Bummer. Not with the suspenders. That sounds even severe. Hold on now. Let me get it now. Welcome Live at 5. We're gonna share some art. This is from Mark. He is a buddy of mine from Chicago. He is a bartender. Go check him out. It's his handle. Share my screen. His is Marv videos daily. I want to say blocks of videos. Fantastic work. All walks of the internet, stuff that I'm pretty sure you've never seen. Daily, there's stuff I've never seen. So check it out. We only got about 2 videos, and then we're gonna get into the show. Got the overalls on, got the pits going. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about.
Holy shit! What is reality?
Blow your mind.
This might be difficult to hear, but you and...
For years, your devices have been collecting.
Oh, shit. Hold on. Like I do every show, I forget to do the copyright, but that's okay. I haven't played anything yet, except for the jingle. We'll get it. We'll get it. We'll get it together. Yikes.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, personal.
We're going live at 5. Ooh, ow. Live at 5-ish. 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock. 6, 5. Ooh, that's it.
So we're going to want to start this over. So trying to close it out. Start over. Maybe if I come out, go back in, we'll get a do-over. All right, take it out. Why does it look like it's at the same spot? Stop doing that. I think we've been. All right. Let's take it from the top. At least we'll skip that one because we saw that one already.
Your mind.
This might be difficult to hear, but you and everyone you know died hundreds of years ago.
They learned everything about us. They even harvested our DNA.
They did this to prepare for something they called the event.
This event would make Earth possible to save us, do the next best thing. To preserve later deep within the Earth. I'm just joking. The truth is, you ate way too many edibles, and one of your worst friends sent this to you to freak you out.
And all your friends are demons.
Friends are deep. What I'm about to tell you is going to blow your mind.
What the fuck? Whoa. There's a little part of me that says one more time. It's kind of demonic. It's very scary. He dumps in a pool full of bones. Holy shit. That's fantastic. Horror feel. Speaking of, I remember saying not too long ago that American artists to work with. So as ridiculous as that may sound, I've been following him on Instagram. He just hasn't been working with any new like productive, proactive Black artists. So I find out, I'll go back to Mark in a second, but I found out that not only is he not working with Black people, he's not working with people at all. He just signed his first Asian female artist. Her name is Ratata Ta 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 Ta. Ratata Ta Da Da Glass Awata. This is what I'm talking about. Why does he do things like this? Why does Timbaland do things like this? I feel like when people get old, they get crazy sometimes. Not all, but some. And you fall off the wagon. This is falling off the wagon. What do you mean her name is Tata? What do you mean Ratata Ta 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 Ta? What do you mean? So, I guess what does that mean? You don't have to pay them? Maybe that's what that means. Yeah, sure. Way to go, Timbaland.
Oh, you good?
Not impressed. He was an idol. He's an idol of mine. I can say he was, but I don't have to go that far. I'm just gonna say, I'm disappointed in you, Timbaland, and I think that hurts more than any insult. So, I am disappointed in you, Timbaland. You are an idol of mine, yet you fell far from the artistry. And then we got that time. Done. Caroline. I said specifically, do not send me videos with music in the damn thing.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
I'm already using Outcast, which is actually pretty cool. It is pretty cool. It's in sync. I am already using Outcast, so that's kind of funny. Shouts to Mark. All right, that was fun. That was friends with Art, guys. Art with friends. So, to get things started, welcome to Live at 5. This show, as I mentioned, is about the litter of Jerusalem, the litter of Bethlehem, and the garbage of Nazareth, and who cleans up after the Last Supper. Now, again, like I mentioned earlier, my first question was, what was the first dustpan and what was the first broom? Back then, there was a lot of sand and dust. I assume maybe some fish bones. If you enjoyed Art with Friends, you know what to do.
I wish a nigga would like, subscribe, and share.
If it looks like a breakdown, please, by all means, participate. Don't just sit there. Donate. The Cash App is beneath my face.
Woo! I mean, what better than this? Just a guess.
All right. So let me finish my spiel. So I going through my research, as we know, the broom is nothing more, even from back then, twigs put together with a stick base. That goes all the way back to Luke 15. I'm not going to act like I got that off the top. I wrote it down clearly. But it's the New Testament, Luke 15, which is, I believe they said, is anywhere between the 18th, 19th century. And I found out in 1797, my brain, right? Levi Dickinson sorghum. He made the sorghum broom in 1797, and the shaker's flat broom design. So the sorghum, which is SORGHUM broom in 1797, and a shaker's flat broom design, and the dustpan being the jelly to the peanut butter, came a little bit later by T.E. McNeil in 1858. And then in 1897, African-American inventor Lloyd Ray patented and improved the dustpan design. That is the one that was made from today. So T.E. McNeil in 1858, I did not look up. I wasn't doing race stuff today, but I did recognize that the creator of the modern day dustpan that we use today was invented by a black man in 1897. His name was Lloyd Ray. But as far as the original design, which would be the blueprint that T.E. McNeil made in 1858, I'm not sure with ethnicity is. I know it's not important. I know. I understand. But hey, competition. Sometimes who doesn't like competition?
You've got to love life to have life, and you've got to have life to love life.
But yeah, of course, we would create the things. We were doing all the cleaning. So that makes sense, right? Makes sense that we would kind of figure out how to stop using our hands as dustpans, probably, shit like that. But one thing that all religions have in common is that they all use water, is the purifier, the blessing, from anywhere from running water in the Buddha, in the temple, or maybe like washing water for purification in the mosque, or something like in the temple, in the Jewish temple, or maybe the Jewish practice, they use the water for to snip the BBs and all types of purification purposes as well. So water is always at all of the religions, from the test of time, they understood that water was something that we need to purify everything. So water is a unified religious, I want to say, a religious liquid religious liquid that we all agreed upon that we need. So we'll start with water. I'll like I said, I got some videos. I'll get into some more facts. Of course, I don't know, about, washing of your hands before prayer and things of that nature. But I was more looking at the situations of using the bathroom. What did we do with the fish bone? And where did all that breadcrumbs go? Where do all the breadcrumbs go? Yeah, they took down the damn video, so that's a shame. What are you gonna do? It's pretty funny. I think because I say some things about gay people. So we'll start with the Jews, and then we'll work our way to the Romans, like I said. Well, Romans and then Egyptians at the end. I want to, again, every time I feel like I have, one second. They rocked in there, I'm not making fun of them. I'm just saying, like, you think that they rocked in there? They was on the toilet? Maybe. So I'm going to show you, we're gonna, like I said, we're starting with the Jews. Put this shit on 720p because we don't want no problems. Welcome to Live at 5, the only show that starts at 6 o'clock. Guys, be on time today.
We're going live at 5.
Share my screen.
We're going live at 5-ish. 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock. 6, 5. Ooh, that's it.
All of this is for edutainment.
So this is the second installment in what we're doing as our City of David series.
Calm down. Relax. Okay. What we have here is the first Jerusalem toilet. Quality content. People always want to talk about content this, content that. When the last time you saw something like this?
Follow us on Instagram. Connect on Facebook, wherever you get your podcasts. We'll be right back.
All right. Donate here. What is it? Here. Right there. Or share the video. That works too. All of it works. All right. Maybe so like these toilets.
Series for people who are stuck at home because of the coronavirus. And we brought you to a fascinating location that's more than 3,000 years old in the
hygiene. And even in the city of David, you could see where that was something that people were thinking about thousands of years ago. So behind us, we have a square stone with a hole in the center. And it turns out that that is one of very few that have been discovered in an ancient toilet, going back 2,500 years to the period of the Babylonian destruction of First Temple period Jerusalem. And scientists are funny people. And so the scientists came along and they thought, well, who was using this toilet here? And we know that this is the area just beneath what archaeologists believe to be the royal government center of the Davidic dynasty, maybe King David's palace. This is the royal quarter here, the original Capitol Hill. So whoever's living here, rich people, right? And so scientists wondered, what was the diet of the last people of Jerusalem 2,500 years ago?
It's true, and in our sources it says, how did you know if a person was rich? As you said, if he had a toilet. He had a toilet in proximity to his table. So for years we were walking here and the scientists came, they lifted up the toilet and they took soil samples underneath and they studied them in a laboratory. And what they found in the lab was the last diet of people that were here. They were consisting on basic grasses and, unfortunately, it's a bit gross, they had contracted worms. Now why had they contracted worms? They were eating raw meat. This time period is the year 586 BCE, 2,600 years ago. People were here, the Babylonians had surrounded Jerusalem.
Hold on. Why were we eating raw meat? In the research that I did today, I will say this. I did not find no one ate raw meat yet. Not that I found. Are we talking like, what are we talking about? Why are we eating raw meat? Oh my God. What kind of meat? I'm not making any. Hey, listen.
Radar, sonar, laser beams, jets, tanks, submarines, megathons, H-bomb, napalm, yeah! This shit will kill you fast.
All I know is that Hitler said that the Jewish people were eating people. That's what Hitler said. I'm not quoting him like that. I'm just saying like that's what he said. So why would they be eating raw meat? And then how'd they go from eating raw meat to like kosher meat? That raw meat is the most unkosher thing I've ever heard.
And it looked like it was the end of the city. But the Jewish people survived, and we can see the remnants of what they ate during that siege 2,600 years later here in Jerusalem. So
one of the amazing things about the city of David in general, and specifically what this toilet tells us, is that when you're in the place where the Bible happened, the words of the Bible come to life. The Bible describes the Babylonian siege on Jerusalem, the impact that it had on the people living in Jerusalem, whether it's the book of Jeremiah and other books in the Bible. And here you see the description of the Bible coming to life here in the excavations in the city of David. And just like hygiene was important back then, hygiene's still important today.
Absolutely.
In ancient Jerusalem, in biblical Jerusalem, and in modern Jerusalem, and in all our homes. So be well, everybody, and we hope to see you back here in Jerusalem soon.
See you soon.
Yeah, see? You know what I mean? So there's a hole in the ground. Not too fancy. Yeah, no, it made them sick. And then yeah, that eating raw meat made them sick. And then they go and then they shit on the in the hole, and then they said that determined how rich they were if they had a toilet. So why were all the rich people eating raw meat?
Holy shit! What is reality?
That's disgusting. Why would the rich? He said the rich people got the toilet, got that part. Why were rich people eating raw meat? The fuck is that? That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not doing it. But that was from 5 years ago. So, like I said, a lot of the footage I get is going to be from 4 to 5 years ago. I don't trust anything nowadays.
Okay. Well,
that's a personal choice. But you know how it is. Everything's doctored. We're all doing AI. Look at Timberland. He just signed Ratatata, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. It makes me so mad I need a glass of water. Hold on. All right. Shout outs to my brother who made the first dustpan. And I'm gonna probably guess that the broom was made by a black person as well, but yeah, take all the credit. Okay, so that was fun. I'm gonna get now, since we saw how they poop, how the Jews poop. I want to get into, like we were talking about water. We're getting to how they bathe and how they kept themselves clean. Like I mentioned earlier, everyone was wearing sand. The water was something we all agreed on. Excuse me. A lot of sandals, a lot of dusty roads. So foot washing was a common practice, or courtesy even, because you couldn't go anywhere without literally tracking mud in the house. You're tracking mud in the house. So you had to wash your feet. And then, of course, you had to wash your feet if you were praying. Now, the word is mikveh. I'm not even going to try it. It's M-I-K-V-E-H-S. Mikvahs, makvahs, maybe makvah, which is served for full immersion. The daily personal washing would likely involve pouring water over the body, face, hands, back of hands, neck, which would be a sort of like washing the sins away. And most houses, just like Japanese houses, have like areas where they have like areas. They have areas to pray. There was areas to wash. Some for just daily wash, some for holy wash. But again, what is the base? So because of the sand, it was a lot of washing. So that, to my surprise, not really to my surprise, it was just it's good to know that they had a whole system of how to, I want to say, keep clean. So for the most part, not everyone, and we'll get to the literal nitty gritty. But yeah, if you like what you're hearing so far, please.
I wish a nigga.
We're winning. You see what's going on. So whatever you can do to help financially would be fantastic, because we have to beat it. If it's $5 or $10 or $100, whatever you can do.
I really mean that thing I was saying earlier about the jewelry thing. Gold shouldn't be up. That's a shame. Also, stop eating raw meat. That's gross.
Go back to my home country. You can get reconnected with your roots.
Now, we're going to get into hygiene. Everybody's talking about hygiene. Don't you miss COVID when everyone was starting their conversations like that? Speaking of hygiene, these niggas is teaching niggas how to wash their hands. I don't know what the fuck that was about. I'm glad I don't know if anyone learned anything. Thank you for that. You're adding to the chat. So far, everything's been home runs. Complimenting the overalls. I probably should just leave that there. And yeah, they had the FAFO on the raw meat though.
Did you feel that?
They felt that coming out the butt. One thing you don't want to have is like loose poop on a rock toilet. Loose poop on a rock toilet? Probably not the vibe. All right. Let's get into how the first ones. I'm only saying I'm saying that Israel is the first one because a Gemini said that they had the first book. The final book is the Quran. But the Torah came first. So read it and weep. So let's see how the first of God's children cleaned up.
One of the weaknesses in the material archaeology of the Bible, articles made of more perishable materials do not survive in abundance, and without a written explanation of everyday life, it can be difficult to know with certainty how some objects, spaces, and life issues were dealt with. One of the weak spots in our knowledge is how ancient Israelites dealt with issues of hygiene and sanitation. Living as a human, we all have experiences that allow us to know what concerns the ancients needed to deal with: body odor, general cleanliness, laundry, human and animal waste, dishes, cleaning of the home, and garbage disposal. While our knowledge is not exhaustive, we do get help from the archaeological record. For issues of personal cleanliness, laundry, and body odor, ancient Israelites had both religious and social motivation. Socially, it's very human that people wanted to mask unpleasant odors, and thanks to written sources, we know that perfume, incense, and bundles of aromatic spices were commonly used to sweeten the air.
Similar.
Israelites also had the added motivation of the law of Moses that commanded ritual purity, bodily cleansing, and the laundering of clothes after various bodily functions. If they were inclined to follow the law, we can safely assume that their bodies and clothes met water and a cleaning agent more often than they would have otherwise. In regard to ritual purity, scholars studying the four-room house, a style that is bound to the presence of the Israelites and was the predominant floor plan for Israeli homes throughout the time period of the Judges and Kings. They have noted that these houses, with their central rooms that provide access to all other areas of the house, allow not only for greater privacy, but were also ideal for observing the purity laws of the Old Testament. For privacy, a person did not have to travel through other rooms of the house to reach their destination, but could have access to all areas of the home from the central room. The advantages of this arrangement for ritual purity is that members of the household experiencing temporary ritual impurity could move around the house without coming into direct contact with others, and also be able to keep up with their daily routines. This is in contrast to other societies whose ritual purity laws forced unclean members to live in temporary shelters away from the main home. While general waste disposal likely varied from city to city, several ancient toilet seats have been discovered. In the city of Jerusalem, 2 of these seats were found still in their ancient place, each over a cesspit. When archaeologists examined the remains of the cesspits, they revealed what a difficult situation ancient Jerusalem must have been in during the days leading up to the Babylonian destruction. And for our interest today, they revealed that liming agents were dumped into the cesspits to facilitate breakdown and sanitation of these ancient latrines. It is believed that these types of accommodations were probably reserved for the upper classes of society. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this spotlight, please like it, share it with a friend, and leave us a comment below on what you thought. Also, don't forget to click the bell and subscribe for the latest Bible discovery content.
Thanks, Gary. They're frozen. They got it. Whoa. Well, that's good to know. Good stuff. So, again, same.
Because with the free ad block
On.
extension from Capital,
Muting it, and it's not working. Stop it. Excuse me. Hold on. Jesus Christ. The ad just took over the whole shit. Okay. Fun to know. Well, we still have the Jews washed up, mainly oils, some stuff. I would say a lot of the people, a lot of ash and lye was was replacement for the soap. The ashes were burned over olive pits, and then the olive pits would mix with water. Then the water create like I want to say like an alkaline, which is like a soap kind of like bar. And then that lye, which is again, we're still talking about soap, help cut the grease and all the dirt. So they had to make their own. I felt Bill Cosby cut the grease and the dirt. Yeah. So they made their own soap bars out of ash, lye. Hopefully the ash wasn't human bodies, because now I'm scared. Because if they was eating raw meat, what did they do with the bones? It wasn't humans, right? It's not humans. We're not saying Jews eat humans. That's preposterous. I just don't want to know why they eat raw meat. And then what do they do with the bones? All right. Close down my entire situation. So I'm going to get back to YouTube, and then we'll get into the Romans, and then we'll get into the Egyptians last but not least. in the meantime, by all means,
I wish a nigga would like, subscribe, and share.
Once again, I'm not an activist. I'm just caught up in the shit. When you start the shit, you can't stop the shit till you finish the shit. I'm in the shit.
Unfortunately, on both sides, we did use urine. I was hoping it was more of the Romans, but I couldn't escape it. The Jews, the Egyptians, everyone used piss. Everyone used piss to as a cleaning agent, only because it was used for the laundry, which is weird, right? You think about it. Sounds fucking strange, right?
For the what, do what to the what? Speak English, speaker.
But all right, put it like this. How does one fight ammonia, right? You have to challenge ammonia with ammonia. So what they would do, they would use the piss to the ammonia that's in piss to take out everything else. So it was like a bleach. You would use the piss as a bleach. So like piss was the first bleach. And now you use piss. Now you use bleach to take out the piss.
That's also known as an algorithm.
It's interesting. So yeah, they used to use pee as bleach. Everybody did during these times. You had to, because you needed an ammonia substance, and nothing was as strong as human piss. So another common fact for back then, since we're talking about laundry. The Jewish and the Romans definitely used the pee as for the ammonia, but I want to say because of the spiritual practices of Islam and the hygiene of pee and things of that nature, they decided not to use pee, and instead they went with oils, like heavy scented oils. I'm not sure if they would be the one that would wipe out, would be as strong as an ammonia agent, but throughout all of history, if you go from the Middle Easterns to the Romans to what have you, they used pee as an ammonia agent, but when it went to Islam, they said no pee. So maybe it was I don't know, some sort of religious thing. Maybe they decided not to use pee. But I get it, because you can still use that to this day if you're lost in the woods. So, I guess to recycle to drink if you're drowning, I'm talking. I don't know if using it to wash is probably, I never thought about that, to use that as a bleach agent, but who knows? But yeah, they said that but again, when they found out that using the oils, I'm going to say, the Romans found out that using the oils did work, but for some reason, they still needed the pee. So, whatever. All right, so we're going to get into back because it knocked me out. So that's what's up. Guys, welcome to Live at 5, the only show that starts at 5 o'clock. Supposedly. Today we was early. We did a 6 o'clock I don't know how we did it.
We're going live at 5. Ooh, ow, we're going live at 5-ish. 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock. 6, 5. Ooh, that's it.
To mix I'm really happy to see that no one used blood. I thought I was gonna for sure see blood, but no one used blood for anything, which is, I'm happy to see that, because you think about it, but not to say nothing. Parts of the body clearly, waste not, want not. I would say there are signs of people mixing bones with shit. So it would be like a source of like nutrition and fuel. So this is from the Prophet Muhammad. All praise be to Allah. He prohibited people from using the bone and shit combination for personal cleaning after defecation was mentioned in the Quran. They mentioned that, you know, that this bone and feces combination, but it was most of one of those things they're supposed to use as like a dire situation because of the impurity of the whole thing. But it was like they had understandings of when or not to use it. So I connect that to maybe our modern day medicine or our modern day drugs that we use that end up hurting our bodies at the end of the day. Like it puts poison in, but it's supposed to heal you. So I guess that was like that same sort of formula where it was like, if you mix the dung with the bones, the nutrients are in there because you're just eating bone marrow and fucking, your own. Well, not hopefully it was. I don't know if you're eating your own excrement, which sounds all disgusting altogether.
Once again, I'm not an activist. I'm just caught up in the shit. I can't stop the shit.
But I'm just saying they figured out what you need, so that would be like a vitamin. And then he was like, not all the time. So just like you're not supposed to use medicine, well, modern day medicine all the time because it ends up harming your body. So, I mean, more than helping anyway. So maybe that was their form of figuring that out the hard way or the long way. I guess the one who used the medicine the most caught an infection, which you actually can get from modern day medicine. If you use too much medicine in modern day, you can catch a liver disease, which a disease and all the same. So
Radar, sonar, laser beams, jets, tanks, submarines, megathons, H-bomb, napalm, all this shit will kill you fast.
So yeah, it was just everyone had their own personal, let's just say, ways to handle waste and to keep public awareness for health. And also looking after the animals, that's another thing. Everyone had the same thing, of course, because to eat, but everyone had the Noah mentality. No matter the book, everyone had the same kind of vibe. All right, let's check out the joint. Because I'm loading up they done knocked me out the YouTubes. They knocked me out. Everyone complained about the price of the Switch 2, and then everybody went and bought a Switch 2. I don't understand.
What are we talking about?
Disposable income. Shout outs to everyone with disposable income. You did it. Everyone was like, I'm not getting a Switch 2. And then all I see online is Switch 2, Switch 2, Switch 2. It's like, I don't know. Everyone was saying, hey, if you want them to know that you're not going to take it anymore, don't buy the product. Just fight the man and fucking it was like, oh, here's my money. Give me my Switch 2. God damn it. It's all good. I don't need. I'm not spending $300 for Mario again. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It doesn't work for me. Again? Mario again for $300? Why? So I'm gonna put Mario for $300. Not gonna work. All right, so let's get into the Romans. We're almost done. And we're doing great timing. We're almost done. I believe I have the Egyptians, pharaohs. Hold on. Okay. I have a montage that a group of people made, and we could play with this, and then I'll get into the I'll get into the We'll get into the Egypt at the end. And that will be the end of the show. We did it. I feel like I've had some fun. I hope you learned some shit. Because, guys, you know, this is Live at 5. We're gathering information on the show.
We're going live at 5. We're going live at 5-ish. 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock. 6, 5. Ooh, that's
The definition of clean is extremely relative. Hygiene standards vary throughout the world, and they've changed drastically throughout history. Baths were only a weekly occurrence for most people even just a century ago. What people further back in history did to stay clean is even stranger. Here are weird things the ancients thought about cleaning. The ancient Romans left behind a ton of writing, and they weren't shy about their habits. The poet Catullus once wrote about the ammonia.
You see what I'm talking about? Remember when I was talking about the urine? So, not the Egyptian, the Islam. I'm from Pakistan. But Islam said no thank you to the urine. We're not going to use the urine. We're not going to use the urine. But Rome and Jerusalem, all about the pee. They put the pee on the toothbrush. What was going on with the teeth? Teeth were rough, boy. All of that raw meat. How do you get raw meat out of the teeth, they said? Piss. How am I gonna get this raw meat out of my teeth? Pee on your toothbrush.
It's twisted. Somebody did that thing to somebody else. That's somebody maybe has. It's crazy.
White people doing white people things.
Don't pee on a toothbrush. What are you, R. Kelly?
Ammonia in urine acted as a bleaching agent, leading to those oh-so-desirable pearly whites. It's possible they refined the urine into ammonia before putting it into their mouths. Hopefully. Archaeologists are still learning about what went on in Rome's public baths. According to researchers from the University of Iowa, artifacts recovered from pool drains include plenty of perfume vials, oil flasks, and nail cleaners, among other things, including teeth. There were enough teeth that they think Romans were going to baths for socializing, pampering, and some dentistry at the same time. The Romans had to find ways to keep those clothes clean too. And just like for their teeth, the ammonia in urine was how they kept their whites white and their colors bright.
Odin how Rising, now available on mobile and PC, exclusively with Google.
Brush the teeth with the piss, and then they wash their with piss. So what you would do is you put your toothbrush. I don't understand that either. Brushing with ammonia is interesting. That is. But thank you for that. That's what I was thinking. Brushing with ammonia. You know. Wouldn't that be equivalent to brushing your teeth with bleach? So urine was a big part. Well, look, thank you for that. Urine was a big part of what do you mean, like niggas pissing on each other?
It's a word that some gay man made up.
It was a main source. Well, first of all, because it was free. So they probably was trying to figure out how to use it. It was like, we have so much piss. How do we use this piss? So they any free resource, they're like, how do we? They probably even try to sell the pee. Probably try to sell the piss. Like, I got fresh grade A piss. No, sir. No, thank you. My husband has his own piss. I do not need your piss, sir. But I have fresh piss, ma'am. I have the best piss, ma'am. So maybe you bought pee that didn't have diseases in it. Like STD free pee.
Yeah.
I wish a nigga.
Oh, odd Negroes. I'm gonna go online and odd Negroes. What is he? Yeah, I'm gonna follow.
Hold on. Well, if the world shuts down and civilization ends, we are going to be using urine to brush our teeth. No, we're not. We don't need ammonia to brush our teeth. High quality urine. HQU only, baby. HQU only. I don't even have an R. Kelly button. I didn't know I was going to be I didn't know I was going to be STD free pee.
Champagne and caviar. Don't touch those, they're for guests.
Oh, boy.
James, we are guests.
My God, he's going to get her drunk and have his way with her.
It's a soaking wet part of this. We needed to pee. And again, I think it's because it was free. We're crazy. We're like, oh shit, we got so much piss. We got to figure out what to do with it. You're just supposed to get rid of it.
William Smith described the process in a dictionary of Greek and Roman antiquities, and it made for wool, and given how hot it is in Italy, their clothes needed a lot of washing. An ancient Roman laundromat was called a phalanacum, and it was staffed by phalones. It was their job to stomp on clothes in baths of liquid to wash them. That liquid was most commonly a mix of animal and human urine. Collecting all that urine was a part of the phalones' job too. Most often they would stand on street corners with buckets, hoping passers-by would take the opportunity to relieve themselves. Tough job. After washing, white clothes would be further whitened by being hung in a basket over sulfur fumes, further proving that history smelled absolutely terrible. People have always tried to take care of their teeth to avoid dentists, or in the earliest cases, having to ask their neighbor to knock a molar out with a rock. Mankind had pretty decent teeth until farming and carbs were common. But people living in Sudan around 2,000 years ago had shockingly great teeth. Only about 1% of them had cavities or signs of tooth decay. And it wasn't until 2014 that researchers...
Sorry, did you catch that? Did I talk over that?
The black Hebrew Israelites.
He said the people of Sudan had better teeth. Hold on. When a man say them, the man said that. What a man say?
The black Hebrew Israelites.
Tooth decay. And it wasn't until 2014 that researchers figured out why. Tooth decay. And it was pretty decent. Farming and carbs were common. But people living in Sudan around 2,000 years ago had shockingly great teeth. Only about 1% of them had cavities or signs of tooth decay. And it wasn't until 2014 that researchers figured out why. No, it wasn't urine. According to National Geographic, their fine chompers were a consequence of chewing on one of the most noxious invasive weeds in the world, nutsedge. Dr. Mark Schonbeck of the Virginia Association for Biological Farming says it's native to tropical Eurasia but has since spread around the world. not a good thing for native plants. It's an invasive pest, but modern humans could take a page out of the book of the ancients. Modern research has found that the extracts released when purple nutsedge is chewed destroy the same bacteria that causes cavities and tooth decay. There's one catch. It tastes terrible. Researchers are pretty sure people weren't chewing it for the flavor, but knew it had medicinal benefits, though they maybe weren't aware of its dental perks. Around 3,000 years ago, people living in China were developing methods of using plant ash to remove the toughest grease stains. According to the Epoch Times, for a long time, the water left over from cooking rice would be used for bathing. But around 420 CE, bathing beans were more commonly used. They were made from all sorts of things. And according to the writings of a Su and Tang dynasty doctor named Sun Sum Yao, pig paint...
We'll probably stop at the Chinese because we're not doing Chinese today. But, yeah, what about the Chinese? Guys, I'm doing Rome, okay? I'm going from Rome, from Judea. No, not Judea. It would be Jerusalem, goddamn Rome, Egypt. I don't got time for China, unfortunately.
This is the Asian pork rind.
Yeah, what up? Commercial.
If you're a business that handles contracts,
Hope you
proposals,
enjoyed what you're seeing so far. We're almost done, guys. We're almost wrapping it up.
You know what's funny? Like, subscribe and share.
We do not know. I'm sorry. Why don't we do that now? I can avoid the dentist. Wait, why don't we do what now? You talking about what, the sulfur or the what? Dude, which one? What they was doing on the teeth? Did I pause the commercial? Oh my god. Oh my god. The man does not know how to use the internet. To use this accent, I'm going to confuse the masses. Why don't we do that now on the African diaspora? If I use the accent, let me I'll get a little bit about what's going on with a little bit more into Greco stuff, and then we'll get into Egypt, and then we're getting the hell out of here. We're at the 129 mark, 7:30. We're doing a good job. Welcome live at 5. Don't shut it set to 6 o'clock.
We're going live at 5. We're going live at 5-ish. 6 o'clock.
Why don't we do that now? I'm sorry, which part? You mean like the sulfur part on the toothbrush? The plant they use. Oh, you talk about that root work. I know. What was that root? Whatever that root is, they said, but see, the problem is, just like what happened in California, when they cut the water because they said the water was fucking with some little, Trump said, some tiny fucking little thing. It kills other plants. So they probably made that up, but they probably, but they said that plant kills other plants. So they had to get rid of that plant. But that plant is like whatever you would put in like in whatever is put in the materials of Colgate, I guess, and whatever toothpaste is made out of. That plant is the original root for making your teeth as bright as possible. But unfortunately, planting that plant amongst other plants kills other plants. So I would say, what can we get the seed and plant them ourselves so you never have to buy toothpaste again? No, because they want you to keep making and buying toothpaste.
headed off for a more traditional bath, they scrubbed up with it. Sand and ground pumice were common, and once they were covered with that oily mess, they'd scrape it off with a curved tool called a strigil. Both men and women did this, and it was one of the most important tools in any athlete's arsenal. They'd usually oil themselves up before heading to the gym, and once they were done, they'd clean off the worst of the oil, sweat, dirt, and blood with the strigil. It actually gets worse. According to health and fitness history, everyone used a strigil, but the muck athletes scraped off themselves was thought to be extra special, with a sort of medicinal power. It was often saved and used as an ingredient in salves and poultices, so regular folks could gain a little athletic talent by osmosis, presumably. It's easy to forget how modern an invention toilet paper is.
And this? It's toilet paper.
The idea has been around since at least 14th century China, according to ABC, but it took centuries to catch on. Two-ply only showed up in the 1940s, and it was advertised as something everyone should probably use by the 1960s. So what happened before that? Colonial Americans used corn cobs. Old newspapers and catalogs were popular options in the early 1900s. Ancient Rome has perhaps the most questionable method, and it's worth keeping in mind that they had very public toilets. Archaeologist Stephen E. Nash writes in Sapiens that researchers know a lot about Roman toilet habits thanks to the facilities and frescoes preserved in volcanic ash in Pompeii, including illustrations of the tussorium, a Roman-era sea sponge on a stick, which people would use to wipe themselves after doing their business. And no, people didn't carry their own personal sponges with them. They were just as public as the toilets. If running water wasn't handy, buckets of salt water and vinegar would be left by the toilets, so people could rinse off the sponges before leaving them for the next person. Let's be glad most movies and TV shows about ancient Rome left that part out. This might have been interesting to include, though. In the
Fuck you. They better be glad that they left that out. They said that Africans are niggas that wipe their ass. Since I was a kid, I was told the term African booty scratcher. Caesar wiped his ass with a stick and then passed it back like a baton to fucking Cleopatra, and then she also wiped her ass, and then they passed it back to whoever. Socrates had it, wiped his ass, passed it to Heracles. Heracles had it, wiped his ass. That's disgusting. What? Why not get your own stick? Get your own stick. That's the most laziest shit I ever heard. What do you mean you didn't have your own stick? Go to the woods, get a stick, get your own sponge. You shared a fucking shit sponge?
Subscribe and share. It's free. If you have the internet, it's absolutely free. If you have the internet, it's free. If you put on your internet, it'd be there. Like, subscribe, and share on the internet. It's on the internet. Just put on linktointernet.com.
It's a little nasty. A little nasty. It's a little nasty. Not gonna lie. A little gross. Shit stick. I thought it was a fucking plunger. It's not a plunger. It's the town's doo-doo rag.
1960s, archaeologists were excavating ancient Roman sites in England, and when they got to the toilets, they uncovered small stone discs called pessoi. They were originally thought to be game pieces, but further research and the common Greek saying 3 stones are enough to wipe suggest they were actually a sort of reusable toilet paper. And that's not all. According to Scientific American, some of the pessoi started out as ostraka, broken pieces of ceramic that people would etch with the names of other people they just didn't like. They were usually used in voting to banish someone from town. Later, it looks like they were recycled.
This was the first
researchers from the university.
Hold on. Calm down. Hold on. They want to show you an ad so bad that it's fuck up your placement. Shout out to that sponge on the stick. Hold on, I'll get where it is at right here. Looks like. No, maybe there's my truth.
Odin.
The something I just saw. Hold up. Can I bring it back? Oh my god, fascinating stuff. Guys, please, by all means, burn that stick. Burn that stick. It's so gross.
I don't need.
I wish I met
Subscribe and share.
It's so exciting for you to be a part of this experience, the fans. So you want to leave?
Welcome live at 5.
We're going live at 5. We're going live at 5-ish.
We're winning. You see what's going on. So whatever you can do to help financially would be fantastic because we have to beat it. If it's $5 or $10 or $100, whatever you can do.
Welcome live at 5. Thank you for joining me. See some other people in the chat. Appreciate you always. You could be anywhere in the world. I appreciate you joining me. Today's topic is the litter of Jerusalem, litter of Bethlehem, and the garbage of Nazareth. Who cleans up after the Last Supper? As you can see, share the table. We can get this backdrop going as we stretch. Hold on, we get it. There it goes. We got Black Jesus there. We got all the questions on the tablets. Thank you for joining me. Live at 5. Don't forget to share the show if you're enjoying it so far. I'm having fun. Hopefully you're learning something. I've learned something. I learned how gross we are. Pretty gross. A lot of urine. Maybe R. Kelly's ahead of his time.
I don't need.
Maybe he's ahead of his time. Maybe he was trying to clean her. Maybe urine was like the first. He was like, that's the kind of stuff that gets you banned? Is it? I don't know. You got to tell me. They don't tell me these things. Let's get back to the doo-doo stick. My main man. Shout out to my main man. Shout out to these guys. Who's these guys? Give them a shout out at the end. Great stuff. Butt brushes.
And vinegar would be left by the toilets so people could rinse off the sponges before leaving them for the next person. Let's be glad most movies and TV shows about ancient Rome left that part out. This might have been interesting to include, though.
That's what made me upset. I was saying like how they always have, or any ancient African whatever, just shitting in the woods and just being gross. Why didn't Rome on HBO or any of those gladiator shows start with them passing back the shit stick? Why didn't Game of Thrones start like that? Game of Thrones should have started with them. I don't know if that's probably not that far back, but maybe that's that current. Are dragons and that AD? Is Game of Thrones AD? I don't know. If Game of Thrones is AD, then that's Jesus times, because Jesus times is AD, I think 27 to 29. So I don't know when Game of Thrones is, but what I'm trying to say is, if that was the form of the Roman way, I know they were Vikings. I don't know. I don't know where Game of Thrones people are. Maybe that was a bad reference. But I'm just saying the Romans decided that they should have a shit stick, hit them in the back, pass it on. No, actually, like a plunger, rinse it in vinegar a little bit. Rinse it a little bit, set it in the sun so the bacteria could cook. It's kind of disgusting. All right, whatever, dog. You gotta do what you gotta do. Whatever.
In the 1960s, archaeologists were excavating ancient Roman sites in England, and when they got to the toilets, they uncovered small stone discs called pessoi. They were originally thought to be game pieces, but further research and the common Greek saying 3 stones are enough to wipe suggest they were actually a sort of reusable toilet paper. And that's not all. According to Scientific American, some of the pessoi started out as ostraka, broken pieces of ceramic that people would etch with the names of other people they just didn't like.
I'm sorry. So the rocks that they wrote on, which was the first bathroom graffiti, like "Come get your blowjob here," or "Odysseus ain't shit," or "Odeus took my girl," or Loela, fucking, she has no merit. Her poetry is trash. She knows this. Socrates is a whore. He, you write that on there. They wipe their ass with the stone, though. So they wrote on the toilet paper and then left the. I don't understand this. The toilet paper that they used to wipe, they wrote on, and we found this toilet paper, and it had old, graffiti on it. But that was what they also used if they didn't have the stuff, the means. They would use like soft rocks that you could write in and also wipe your ass with. So whoever's touching these rocks, there's poo-poo on these rocks.
White people doing white people things.
They were usually used in voting to banish someone from town. Later, it looks like they were recycled and used to clean up after using the toilet. How satisfying must it have been to use stones etched with the names of your enemies to clean up after a visit to the throne?
Are you worried that using your home address?
Hold on. What's the difference? So, yeah, it's the poo-poo, wipe your ass, and also to curse your enemy. I mean, it's an ultra burn. It's an ultra burn. See, we get into. So that was fun. I think it gets into Italy. We're not doing all that. All right. So, last but not least, we'll get into Egypt, and then we're done. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. This has been Live at 5, the only show that starts at 6 o'clock. You see what happens?
We're going live at 5. Ooh, ow, we're going live at 5-ish. 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6.
Welcome to Live at 5, guys. The only show that starts at 6 o'clock. We're coming to a closing. We're wrapping it up. Thank you for joining me. It's been fun. I hope you learned something. I learned something. Today's topic, as it says, the little Jerusalem, the little Bethlehem, the garbage of Nazareth. What we found out today, left is right and right is left. When you're looking at this, right? Whatever. Fix your posture. All right. Well, what we learned today is that there's a lot of piss involved. So you take that with a grain of ammonia. And they use a lot of pee. A lot of pee was used to wash clothes and wash your teeth. So that explains a lot about the breath. Was breath ever a factor? Maybe in someone's house there's some ancient Roman grandma still brushing her mouth with piss. What if she's stuck in her ways? We don't know. It was a way of life. Pee was a way of life. So now we're just going to check out. Remember I was talking about recycling? I didn't come here to waste your time. Okay? I came here to give you facts. This is Live at 5.
We're going live at 5. Ooh, ow, we're going live at 5-ish. 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock. 6, 5. Ooh, that's it.
Now, the difference between us and ancient times, well, I'm going from the context of the Islamic way of life. I did not want to look up the way that the Jewish people lived, only because I wasn't that interested. I was more interested in what? Oh my! I know. Oh my God! I mean, I don't need. I'm just saying, like, I was just going a different way with this. So, recycling, as far as early Islam is concerned, minimization was a key factor, and reuse was always a thing. You had to reuse what you had. Natural decomposition was also a key factor. And also not just a promise to yourself or to your community, but they actually consider that a lifestyle. So like the Buddhism and things of that nature, they taught that within the Islamic teachings, and it's also in the Quran, to minimalize and also to reuse and to totally waste not, want not. They could be in the Torah. I do not know. I didn't go that route. I was going the Islam route. So because I do believe that Jesus was black, no matter what Gemini wants to fight with me about. She said he's dark skinned, so I'll take it.
The black Hebrew Israelites.
But I'm just saying I wouldn't want to read so much into the way the Jerusalem Jesus or that time span, or how they carried on, because that's not what I was going for today. So that being said, like I said, it's a lot of minimalization. The eating and drinking, not excessive. Don't the Quran also mentions to not excess, no excess, and also any waste that you have, just make sure you generate it back. Compost, turn the leftovers back to the poor, and also feed the animals. Also, ancient Judea ways had the same sort of concept where they used organic scraps as fertilizer to feed the livestock and also build more food back. So that was a key factor all the way back in those times, just to bring nutrient back to the earth. So that's something that they all agreed upon. I don't think that we all have that same sort of vibe today. That's why there's like a small group of farmers and there's like people who don't farm. Where this time where I'm gonna say that the reason why they have a one-up and a advantage over us is because everyone decided to farm and everyone had land to farm. So yeah, you could give back to the nutrients to the earth or whatever if you had land to use that composition or decomposition and fertilizer and all of those dead vegetables, but you can use the shells of all vegetables like bananas and all the unedible to us. You put those back into the earth, as you probably know, and then you reuse those to bring back the nutrients with what you used. So that was just kind of the way. Now, if they had everyone doing that, of course, no one starved, and no one and everyone had what I guess like the medicinal traits that they needed from the land because you were a farmer, and also your nutrients. So I guess like what I've learned from this is that we should all be farming only because that like proactively giving back to the land is probably the only way you're going to get fresh nutrients going forward. So we should probably all learn in some format how to farm or something, because it's looking like you know, as far as like myself mentioned in the chat, when civilization falls, we don't want to be stuck with just brushing our teeth with piss. So we should probably get on that for sure.
Stone artifacts. If it has one guy's name on it, then we make the general judgment that that's the guy who had it made. Context, this approach is a good but obviously it can
Yeah, he took his son to Egypt, so I'm just trying to get to where he talks about the bathrooms. I'm not interested. Okay. Here we go.
This may be the last.
Thank you for tuning in. We're almost wrapping up. It's not going to be a long show. Live at 5. The other show starts at 6 o'clock. We did some early check-in.
We're going live at 5.
This is not me. I'm fighting for my life. This is not me. I'm fighting
wish
for
a
my
nigga.
like, subscribe, and share.
Gotta stop pausing these commercials. Step 1. Got stones. So back in Egyptian times, we realized how to recycle already. So we'll get into that. And then a little bit of the cleansing, and then we're done. Wrap it up, bring it in. All right, 1 second.
People on the last podcast that we're gonna be doing some of these things live on the site, and this is the tomb of the priest Ra, where a priest at the served during the time successor of Menkaure Ra, the one that will relate the third pyramid here too. We can see the name here. Of the king, Shepsis. So it's end of dynasty. This dynasty officially is the dynasty that built these buildings. So according to the official story, recycling stones from the Giza started on the Middle Kingdom time, and they found the stones reused from the Giza Plateau. They found it used in the pyramids of El-Lish or Tawid, as we mentioned before on the video. But this, on the official story, will be the oldest evidence of recycling stone. Here we are in the 4th dynasty tomb of Ra'wer, and it was excavated by the Professor Salim Hassan. We can see over there his offering hall. And we can see in this offering hall, if we look over here, the offering tables that he used. We'll put the stone masonry here is reflecting definitely the capability of the 4th dynasty. But the stones here, we have this one over here.
It's a pillar base, yeah.
This was his offering hall. And this, as we can see here, was one of the offering tables. But the Professor Salim Hassan mentions that this is a very odd shape for an offering table. Because we are never used to see them round like this.
So it's probably
I recognize this very well. This is a base of a pillar.
Yeah.
And obviously it was being reused in this structure here. So the base of the pillar will be from this part lower, underground. And only this part will be above the ground. And then the pillar was going to be on top of it. We can see even part of a circle here that is a different color because the pillar here stayed for a long time. You see the different colors between here and here?
It's a calcite build-up when the water.
So,
yeah.
That's a base of a, this is an evidence of recycling. Here also, to give you more evidence, here you can see that this is perfectly round. Okay? You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show that it's perfectly round.
Show it.
Now,
Right.
follow me. Mind your step. Mind your step.
This game.
See if we got a little bit more. It's this part right here. It's gonna show like, oh, okay. It's gonna show the actual like recycled stones, which is kind of cool. All right, so yeah, we're gonna show the actual recycled stones, guys. Look what you're doing.
Did that make you feel a certain way? We're going live at 5. Ooh, ow, we're going live at 5. Ish. 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock.
Shit will kill you fast.
Anubis.
Anubis, the guardian.
Here we can see another base of a pillar that was used also as an offering table. But look here, the circle is not complete. Is it clear? It is clear.
Yeah,
That the
carved
circle
it,
here
cut it.
was carved. Why? To put the depiction of the priest. And we can see here the inscription and his name down here. Ra-wer. This is the priest from the 4th dynasty.
4th dynasty.
Yes.
Yeah.
So here we have a conclusive evidence that shows that stone was being recycled since the Old Kingdom time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Begs the question: where was it being?
Yeah.
What can we make of this?
Very cool. So they have recycled rocks that were being reused, and a lot of signatures. It's almost like we've been tagging for years, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. We've been tagging for years. We've been tagging up in bathrooms. We've been tagging up anywhere we could to put our name there to let us know that we were there. I don't know what that's about. Maybe it's just like not wanting to be forgotten, which I understand that, but it's interesting to see that even though you know that someone else is going to receive that same rock, you want them to see your name on that rock. The significance of that, I don't know. Maybe in that time, the person who, maybe if you got a rock that had Sun Ra on it, maybe that was something special, something like that. Who knows? But okay, last video, and then we're done, guys. Thank you for joining me live at 5. The only show that starts at 6 o'clock.
We're going live at 5. Ooh, ow, we're going live at 5-ish. 6 o'clock. We're going live at 6 o'clock. 6, 5. Ooh, that's it.
And by all means, please.
I wish a nigga.
Like, subscribe and share.
Okay. Dig inside the Egyptians, washed up. And let's just see if there's any pee involved. This is not a contest. It's not a contest, okay? It's not a contest.
You've got to love life to have life, and you've got to have life to love life.
It's not a contest, but I just want to know if when they clean themselves, did they use urine? I just want to know. Because it seems to be the wave. I understand you got to get the blood and the grease off and the grind. Been doing push-ups. That's why we got that's why we got the guns out. So who's lifting trash cans? You know what I mean? I'm talking about dirt. Guys, put some respect in these backgrounds. All right. And of course, right here, there's a stretch. Wait, we get in it. Black Jesus right there with the prison pose, with the disciples. I only got 7. 12. If you put 12 disciples, they turned them light skinned. So
He told me to take my high yellow ass inside the house.
So it didn't work. So I had 7 disciples. When I tried to do 12 disciples, AI went light skinned. So I had to do what I had to do. All right. Last video, guys, and we're out of here. Thank you for joining me live at 5. The only show starts at 6 o'clock. Please share the video. Cash App right underneath. You know what to do. If it looks like a mental breakdown, don't just stand there.
I wish a nigga
would like, subscribe and share.
Have you ever wondered about the secrets of ancient Egypt? Think of those majestic pyramids that touch the sky and imagine the people who built them having a profound connection to something as ordinary as hygiene. What if I told you that hygiene was more than just staying clean for them? It was a part of their daily lives and spiritual beliefs. Let's travel back in time to the banks of the Nile River and uncover the remarkable story of how hygiene was a lifeline in the world of ancient Egypt. So go ahead, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more crazy history content. And now on History's Untold, hygiene in ancient Egypt. In ancient Egypt, personal cleanliness was a daily ritual that reflected the people's commitment to maintaining health and comfort in a harsh desert climate. The Egyptians recognized the importance of bathing, not only for hygiene, but also for social and religious reasons. Bathing was seen as a way to purify the body and soul. The primary method of bathing in ancient Egypt involved the use of water, natron, a naturally occurring salt, and oils. They used natron as a cleaning agent and believed it had antibacterial properties. Natron was applied to the body, followed by a thorough rinsing with water to remove impurities.
Okay, so we already know that they used natron, and that means that was their ammonia substance, or ammonia maybe substitute. Their ammonia substitute was this, so they didn't have to use pee. Easy. Which I believe was a mixture of the lye and the ashes and the oils. I don't think you have to use pee to wash up. Didn't sound right.
Oils were then applied to moisturize the skin, which helped counteract the drying effects of the arid climate. Egyptians also made use of various perfumes and scented oils as part of their personal hygiene routine. These fragrances not only added a pleasant aroma, but were also thought to have protective qualities against insects and the harsh sun. Shaving was another common practice in ancient Egypt, and both men and women participated in it. Men typically kept their heads and faces clean-shaven, while women removed body hair as part of their grooming routine. This practice of hair removal was not only for personal hygiene, but also had cultural and religious significance. The choice of clothing in ancient Egypt was influenced by the climate and the need for comfort and practicality. Linen, made from the flax plant, was the primary fabric used for clothing. Linen was lightweight, breathable, and well suited for the hot and dry climate of Egypt. Linen clothing was not only comfortable, but also easy to clean and maintain. The Egyptians valued cleanliness and considered stained or soiled clothing as a sign of neglect. The light color of linen also helped in reflecting the sun's rays, keeping the wearer cool in the scorching Egyptian heat. In addition to linen, the Egyptians wore sandals made from papyrus or leather. These sandals protected the feet from the hot sand and allowed for better ventilation, further contributing to personal hygiene and comfort. Toothpicks were a fundamental tool in the ancient Egyptian dental hygiene arsenal. These toothpicks were typically made from readily available materials such as wood or bone. They were simple but effective instruments for removing food particles and dental plaque from between teeth and along the gum line. Egyptians would use toothpicks in a manner similar.
Okay, so again, we're back at the teeth. So the Egyptians decided to put bones on the edge of sticks to make toothpicks, but then the Romans and the Jews, no disrespect, decided to use pee instead. They went straight with the ammonia. I heard no signs of a toothpick. No signs of a toothpick. They just said ammonia first, piss on the toothbrush first, figure it out later. Skip the pee. Let's make a toothpick. Get it out. Don't need to put bleach on our mouths.
The black Hebrew Israelites.
It scares me. It scares me to think that if they are the superior race, this is why the country is where it is. If they are still documented as I'm no disrespect, but if you're still documented as I mean, why would you use pee? Why not? Then they gave you the bones, and you decided to mix the bones with feces, and that's what you decided to put to eat for nutrients, feces bones. Why are you doing that? You use the bone as a toothpick to get the cooked meat out of it. I heard no raw meat yet.
You know what that?
I heard no raw meat yet. I will get there. It's not long.
To how we use modern dental floss or interdental brushes today. In addition to toothpicks, ancient Egyptians employed early forms of toothbrushes made from frayed twigs. These twigs were typically from trees with fibrous branches, which could be chewed on one end to create bristle-like frays. By scrubbing their teeth and gums with these frayed twigs, Egyptians could effectively clean their mouths. The natural fibers of the twigs provided a mild abrasive action, helping to polish tooth surfaces and maintain oral cleanliness. Egyptians used a mixture of various ingredients to create their toothpaste. This concoction was notably different from modern toothpaste, but served similar purposes. Ancient Egyptian toothpaste often included several ingredients: crushed herbs, powders, and eggshells. These herbs, such as mint and myrrh, not only added flavor, but also had potential antibacterial properties. They contributed to the cleansing and freshness of the mouth. Powders like pumice and ashes from burnt animal bones were abrasive substances that aided in scrubbing away debris and dental plaque. Eggshells were sometimes included for their calcium content, which could contribute to strengthening tooth enamel. While the ingredients in ancient Egyptian toothpaste may seem unconventional by today's standards, they were chosen for their perceived cleaning and protective properties. The combination of these elements help to clean teeth, remove surface stains, and contribute to fresher breath, addressing common dental concerns of the time. Cosmetics played a significant role in ancient Egyptian society, not just for aesthetic reasons, but also for their perceived health benefits. One of the most iconic Egyptian cosmetics was kohl, a dark eye makeup made from substances like galena. Kohl served a dual purpose. It enhanced the beauty of the eyes, but more importantly, it was believed to have protective qualities. Egyptians applied kohl around their eyes to shield them from the glare of the sun, which could lead to eye strain and potential eye infections in the harsh desert environment. Perfumes and scented oils were also commonly used by both men and women. These fragrances not only masked body odor, but were also thought to deter insects and protect the skin from the drying effects of the sun and wind. Proper waste disposal and sanitation were crucial aspects of maintaining hygiene in ancient Egypt. In urban areas, communal toilets were available, and a system for waste disposal existed. These toilets often had a seat with a hole, and waste would fall in.
You know what's funny?
The Torah came before the Quran. But Egypt made the first circle toilet. So now I'm all screwed up. Hold on. That looks like a functional toilet. That's messed up. Why did they skip the hole? Something about just pooping in a hole wasn't it. They made a toilet. It's going to describe it.
Into a chamber below, where it could later be collected and removed. In rural areas, people relied on simpler forms of waste disposal, such as pit latrines. These were holes dug in the ground for the purpose of waste disposal. After use, the holes were covered with soil to minimize odors and prevent the spread of disease. Access to clean water was also vital for maintaining hygiene. The Nile River was the primary source of water for drinking and bathing. Egyptians also dug wells and stored water in large clay jars for daily use. The proper storage of water was essential to prevent contamination. Ancient Egyptians had a sophisticated understanding of medicine and healing. Maintaining cleanliness and hygiene in medical practices was a fundamental aspect of their healthcare system. They used a wide range of herbs and remedies to treat various ailments and injuries. Wounds and injuries were carefully cleaned to prevent infection. Herbs and poultices were applied to promote healing. The ancient Egyptians believed that keeping wounds clean and free from contamination was crucial for successful treatment. Hygiene had profound religious significance in ancient Egypt. The concept of purity and cleanliness was intertwined with their religious beliefs, as well as their preparations for the afterlife. The ancient Egyptians believed in a complex pantheon of gods and an afterlife where the soul would be judged for its earthly deeds. For the journey to the afterlife to be successful, the body needed to be preserved. This belief led to the development of elaborate mummification practices. The process of mummification involved cleaning and purifying the body thoroughly. It included removing
practice that happens in the Torah, or that is mentioned in any sort of Jerusalem death ritual. There's no ritual about cleansing the body after death. Now they do have, again, when you snip the pee-pee, they do have the water that they use to the baptized water or whatever. But as far as anything after death, there's nothing really that I've seen that I could be wrong, that I've seen that they use to purify after death. Asian death rituals, African death rituals, they all involve water. Some sort of water, something that involves some sort of cleansing. Even when they send you off into the lake, it's still using the water to send you off into heaven. So it's like that again, the Vikings do things like that. India does those things. So it's like not too many Roman or even early Jerusalem or whatever deaths involve water at all. That I don't, not to say that they don't know that it's a form of cleanliness, but I feel like it wasn't a spiritual liquid. Let's just say that it wasn't a spiritual liquid to them.
Moving the internal organs, drying the body with natron, and wrapping it in linen bandages. Mummification was not reserved solely for the pharaohs and the elite. It was practiced across different social classes. It was a way of ensuring that the deceased would have a clean and prepared body for the journey to the afterlife. Hygiene in ancient Egypt was a multifaceted concept deeply ingrained in the daily lives and beliefs of its people. From personal cleanliness and grooming practices to the choice of clothing and dental hygiene, the ancient Egyptians took great care to maintain their well-being in a challenging environment. Waste disposal and sanitation were carefully managed, and medical practices emphasized cleanliness to promote religious significance, being essential for the journey to the afterlife. The meticulous process of mummification, a testament to the importance pure and clean body, exemplified this.
Well, I didn't start this. Again, this is not a show where we burn races up. I just like to see how things started, and again, like I said before, where we can go. Now, clearly, we're not going back to the Roman era because it's too much urine. But like you mentioned in the chat, if shit does go to shit, sure, we might end up bathing in urine again. But they already showed you don't even got to do that. You get the bone, put it on the stick. That's your floss. And then also you use the ash mixed with the oils, little bit of light lye, cleans your teeth bright white, no problem. Not too much though, it decays. So light, like one dab of lye. Okay, well, this has been fun. This has been Live at 5. The show, of course, was from the top, the litter of Jerusalem, the litter of Bethlehem, and the garbage of Nazareth. Who cleans up at the Last Supper? Well, we come to find out, we all do. They all have. There's a system to clean up after the Last Supper. They had a recycling system. Hopefully, we could probably learn from a lot of that. It seemed like it was constant. Like I said, all of us have to be farming, and we all have to be composting. That's what I've learned. So, in closing, thank you for joining me. In closing, I think I have one written down. I can wrap this up. This is easy. Even though we are all different, and we all, of course, I guess I want to say, have an idea of where we want the world to end up and where we want it to go, I don't think we should let our, let's just say, our ancestors' methods deter us on our current state. So the fact that they currently, they all used regular resources to empower and to build back their own communities, I feel like we could learn a lot from that. That's what I'm going to say with that. I feel like, again, if they were watching us now, we waste way too much, and a lot of them focus on minimalization, and that's the only way you can stop further pollution and further just blockage of sewage and blockage of air and all this shit. Is we have to stop consuming so much, and that's the only reason why they had, I'm gonna say, a better. There's no history of breathing problems, back then, nothing like that. I didn't find nothing like that. They have no. I was like, because I was wondering like if they had a recycling system, if they failed, what was the outcome? Our outcome is that we get sinuses up, we get all types of, we got to buy all types of medication, all these types of sore throats and all that shit. That's all coming from fumes from our sewage and our recycling system. So, and I was recycling process. So yeah, I could say we could learn from them in a sense where they were minimalists and they prayed more than they bought, and they looked out for each other to make sure that their neighbor were recycling as well, and making sure that the neighbor was also taking care of the planet. So maybe that's a one up on them. That's one thing we all had in common, that we were trying to survive, but not all. They all didn't use P. All right. This has been Live at 5. The only show that starts at 6 o'clock. We had an early run. Appreciate you joining me today. You know what to do.
We're winning. You see what's going on. So whatever you can do to help financially would be fantastic, because we have to beat it. $5 or $10 or $100, whatever you can do.
Don't forget to love yourself and love you back. I'm going to see you tomorrow. We have another topic. This has been fun. I hope I covered all the parts. I didn't want to go. We couldn't go to Asia. They weren't documented as the beginning of time. That's not what they said. That's not what AI said. And AI told me, how dare you? Jesus is not black. He's just dark skinned. It's like, all right, you win. All right. I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be around here 5, 6 o'clock again, Live at 5. Different topic, different things that grinds my gears, or maybe grinds your gears. Who knows? Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. And also donate. Cash App right beneath me in royal purple. Shout outs to Jesus. Shout outs to Yeshua. I'll see you tomorrow. Sweet dreams. Don't forget to love yourself and we'll love you back. Our niggas out. You know what to do. All right. Bye-bye.